welcome to my channel. We are doing rainbow angel wings today for Pride Month. In the first, it was like half a second. It was just a time lapse, and I just I drew. If you're trying to figure out how to do the wings to make them look pretty even, because it's hard to do something that has two sides, like a vase or wings, to make them even. At least it is for me. I'm not good at drawing. I can paint, I can't draw. And so I just kind of drew out the wings until I got them to where I wanted, and then cut it out and did one side and then flipped it over and then drew the other side. So I didn't even have to, don't cut two wings, just cut one wing and then flip it over. So that's what that time lapse was in the very beginning. But then I just sketched it out very lightly with a pencil, and now I am making the wings wet, which is something you don't want to do in real life. Wet wings don't fly very well. So I'm making both sides wet, and it's a little bit of a battle for me because I do live in the desert. It's super dry climate here, so my water paper dries. Oh, just on time. My throat just got dry. The paper dries really fast, so I'm constantly battling it in this painting. But what else is new? Excuse me, I gotta take a drink of water. So that now that I try to avoid the word moist, because I know for some reason it's a word that's like nails on chalkboard for some people. I don't understand it, and I don't need to understand it. I'm just trying to respect it, but it's such a hard word to avoid because it's a perfect description for what I'm trying to describe here. So I do wet the paper, and I do try to get it wet enough where it carries the paint, but not so wet that it makes it move in all sorts of weird ways. And I'm going to do both sides at the same time because it's easier, and I'm counting out, trying to just visualize about how big I want the colors. And you could do, I'm going to do a little bit of the darker colors at the tips of the wings. You could do however much you want. And I'm not using good paper here, or it's good paper. It's not the greatest paper. It's a Canson XL paper, which is great if it's cheaper. So it's great to experiment with. And so I don't like this paper very much. It's just not an easy one for me to work with. And I'm struggling with the colors. And in fact, I actually tried to do a gradient demonstration with this paper earlier on a separate video to try to show you guys how to blend it where it's more ombre, but it failed. So I am definitely, I struggle too sometimes. I do get it to where I want it to be. It just takes a little bit more work. And if I wasn't trying to do a video really quickly, I probably would have made it blend a little bit better. But I'm not too worried about it. You can absolutely, if you want it to blend a little bit more, go ahead and take some time. And now I'm adding the yellows. Rainbows are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. I love this. I love that Gay Pride has the rainbow as a symbol. It's just so perfect. It's so fun. I love rainbows. So I'm happy to do this. And I just thought angel wings was kind of a perfect thing to go with it. I'm not too worried about the edges being perfect. When I mean edges, like the outline of the wings, because I'm going to outline it in black later. And if this is intimidating for you, outlining it in black, so you could do it two ways. You could do it the way I did it. You could do it three ways. You could not do it at all, which would be one way. The other way you could do it is outline it with black with a paintbrush, which is the way I'm going to do it. Or you could take a pen or a marker and do it that way. if you are intimidated by the paintbrush and trying to get a perfect line all the way around, then go for the marker. If you want to do a marker or a pen, I suggest using a micron, M-I-C-R-O-N, and you can get them anywhere. You can get them on Amazon. I think Michaels sells them. They're a very common pen, and they are the archival type pens, which means they won't go through the paper, and they won't bleed, and they won't fade. So, which is kind of the holy trinity of what you want from a marker. I'm sure I just offended somebody with that. But anyways, so I'm doing the green. As I said, I do struggle a little bit with these. The green is not a forgiving color for some reason. It just doesn't like to blend. It's got a weird, it's just a weird texture to it. I probably, if I were going to do this again, I would probably try a different green. This one is a little bit more of a grainy, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I did switch to greens. This is sap green, which I think is prettier for the rainbow. I think it looks more rainbowy. And looking at this right now and thinking, wow, I have a lot of space for the blue and purple. It's like tiny little bit of red and then big blue and purple. But you know what? I'm totally fine with it. And then I'm going to like I said, I could have blended it a little bit more. I do go through and blend it a little bit with the water. It did dry on me, so as you can see here, I added a little bit of water just to get the colors to come together a little bit more. I'm adding a little bit of yellow on one side just to kind of get them to blend a little bit better, and then I go back and add the green, and go back and add the yellow. That's the way to do it, because the water will lift the color, and then when you lift the color, then the other color will bleed into it, if that makes sense. So if I like try to use water only to blend it, then it's gonna stain weird. And this is just one of those things. If you want to get a really nice blend, really nice gradient, then your paper quality will help a lot. So if you're struggling with blending, like if you're trying to do sunsets and you're trying to do things like I don't know, rose petals, and they have like that, you know, the depth and the colors and all these different things, any kind of painting where you're just trying to have a really nice blend of color and you're not getting it, I really suggest upgrading your paper. If you don't want to spend whatever it is for like an Arches paper right now, which is like $60 a block or whatever it is, you can go to like the Dick Blick website, which is dickblick.com, and you can buy single sheets too of Arches paper, and they're gonna be a little bit bigger, but you can get the single sheets and cut it down if you want. Michael sometimes has sales, like a buy one get one free, and so basically you can get 2 for 1. There's different ways around it, but if you're struggling with the blend, then the paper really makes a big difference. Your brush makes a big difference too, but not as much with the blend, I think, as paper. So I'm adding the blue, and the blue is quite vibrant. It's pretty blue. It's True Blue by Dr. P.H. Martin, which is all the watercolors I'm using are the Dr. P.H. Martin, and that is going to be 99.9999% of what I use in all my paintings. I love Dr. P.H. Martin's colors. They're vibrant. If you post in any art groups and stuff, they'll say don't use it because it's not light fast. Light fast means it fades. Light fast means it doesn't fade over time. And his concentrated watercolors are not light fast. The hydrus line, H-Y-D-R-U-S, is. So if you're looking at it, and it says hydrus right on the bottle, it's very hard to miss. So it's very easy to find the ones that are light fast and which ones aren't. So his more fun colors, like he has all his basic colors in the hydrus line. And frankly, I don't think you need any more of that. But if you find like the fun colors, like sometimes you see this fluorescent pink I use, That's his concentrated line, and it does fade over time. So it's great if you're doing it for yourself or if you're going to take a picture of it afterwards, that sort of thing. And uh, here is where my water needs to be cleaned, and I'm just too lazy to get up and clean my water. And I'm thinking, it's okay. I'm doing purple, and the purple's dark, so I'll just live with it. Don't be lazy like me. Clean your water. I don't know at what point I'm going to clean my water, but I just did get lazy, and I'm going to do the purple on top. And as you can see, it's going to be okay. It is going to be okay. And I think you could probably do this with butterfly wings. I think this would be cool. I want to do sunset and rainbow colors. I think that would be fun. And it would be easy to do because you could start with the purple at the top and then work your way down into the red at the bottom. I think it would be really easy to do. And in fact, I think I'm sure there's rainbow sunset paintings out there. I'm not the first to think of this. I'm positive of it, but it should be fun to do. If you guys would be interested in that, let me know. Maybe I'll do one. And see what I mean? The purple is very dark. It almost looks black on here. It is not black. It's purple in person. It looks very purple. But it looks black here. I just love rainbows. I love rainbows. It's so pretty. All the colors together. So did you know, fun fact about rainbows. I was watching a National Geographic channel the other day. I'm just laughing because that's so dorky. I was watching the National Geographic, especially when you hear what I was actually watching. It wasn't even like cool animal stuff. I was watching the effects of sounds around the globe. It's just so random. And it's with Will Smith. Poor Will Smith, man. He's just been through the ringer recently. But anyways, Will Smith is on, I guess, some sort of mission to discover Earth's like coolness. Probably I should don't ever ask me to write descriptions for shows apparently, but so each episode, I think one episode was sound and one episode is light maybe, and I think that's as far as I've gotten. It's interesting. It was interesting to me. And there's a couple of them where he's actually talking about the sound. He goes, the loudest sound in the world ever recorded is a volcano, which I thought was cool. So stuff like that. It's just, this conversation is just getting more and more dorky the further I speak. But anyways, I digress. So he is in Iguazu Falls, which I believe is in Brazil. I'll look it up really quick. And they're there at night. And I'm half paying attention to this. I was taking care of the baby at this point. So I'm watching this and dealing with baby stuff. So I'm maybe getting 1 out of 10 words. So Iguazu Falls is in Brazil. And they're talking about the color spectrum, and they're talking about rainbows. And I'm sure this is something I'm going to share with you guys. You're going to be yeah, I know that. That's stupid. How did you not know that? But anyway, so they're there, and I guess there's not really any color at night because you need the sun to reflect light to create the prism, like the rainbows. I'm sure I'm not saying that right, but maybe you guys are following along. And because the moon is not strong enough light source, you don't get the vibrancy of color at night, which we all know, right? Because you can't see at night, right? But a lot of it is lack of color, which I've never really thought of, right? Because if you see somebody in the dark, You can't tell if their shirt's blue or green or gray or purple. It's like hard to tell. And they were showing Iguazu Falls, and you know, it's obviously waterfalls, so there's the spray of the water around the falls. And that's typically, I mean, you go to a waterfall like that, any kind of waterfall, Niagara Falls, Iguazu, all these big waterfalls, even some of the smaller ones. From the mist of the water, you get the rainbow. And it doesn't go away at night. It's there. We just can't see it. And they were just showing this rainbow at night because of Iguazu Falls. I don't remember. I missed the most important part of the point I'm trying to make, but for some reason the rainbow was showing at night, and it was more of a murkish gray colored rainbow. It was really cool. Anyway, I apologize because I just gave you a lot of information about something that was probably, like, I missed out the most important points. But anyway, it's on, if you have Disney Plus on your, and it's one of those, it's like the National Geographic channel on Disney Plus. I think it's called Earth. It's with Will Smith. He hosts it. And it's pretty good. It's entertaining. It's interesting. I shouldn't say it's entertaining. It's interesting. If you're dorky like me. Apparently, you have to be a dork, because I don't think you'll be interested otherwise. But anyways, here's our little waterfall rainbow with the wings, the angel wings. So I did trace it in black. I added a little water just to blend it into the wings, and now I'm trying to create the little separation, the feather. You can make this a little bit more realistic if you want to. You can not do this part of it. It really, to me, makes it pop. And I like adding the black around the edge. I just think it makes it look more like a silhouette. I just yawned because it is 10:30 at night here, which is very late for me, and I didn't get any sleep last night. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some metallic gold clouds. What else would you have around rainbow angel wings except for metallic clouds? It is a Paul Martin palette. It is not concentrate. Remember, I said 99% of the time I'm going to be using the Dr. P.H. Martin concentrated and hydrus watercolors. This is going to be one of that 0.1% time that I don't, where I'm going to do the gold water, the gold clouds with the Paul Martin metallic palette, which I love. It is magical. So I'm taking my handy dandy favorite size 0 Dugato squirrel hair mop brush. I use this thing probably like 70% of the time. I use this brush a lot. And I just basically did floofiness with the water with just a touch of the golds, and I'm letting the water kind of make its own shape in the clouds. As you can see, I'm not putting way too much thought into this. I will definitely do a video one day with clouds if you guys want, like where you paint clouds and make them look really nice and realistic. This is not one of those times. It's just it's rainbow wings and gold clouds. It's not really exactly a realistic scene. I just wanted to kind of show you guys. This is a fun painting. I think you could do with your kids and just have fun with it. You can even add some of these metallics to the wings if you want, but I'm just adding some to just kind of give it a little bit more depth. And the clouds are usually darker on the bottom than they are on the top, usually. Not always, most of the time. And I think I added a little bit of bronze to the bottom as well. give it a little bit of more of the stormy depth. Stormy weather. So, as you can see, you don't have to add the clouds, of course. There's the bronze. I knew it was coming. You don't have to add the clouds if you don't want. You can leave the wings. You can add stars. You can maybe make it a nighttime scene. Whatever you want to do. It is Pride Month. Do what makes you happy. Show your love. Love wins. This is just a fun little project to do. You can do it with your kids. But I like doing it, and I promise you I will get you a good gradient video, and I will do it with better paper and show you guys how I do my blending of colors, so that you can, if you're struggling with it, then hopefully that would help. But if not, then you don't need it. Anyways, thanks for joining.